Have you ever heard a sound that instantly shattered your world? For me, it wasn't an explosion. It was the soft, familiar click of my front door locking when I was supposed to be just a house. I lay paralyzed, staring at the ceiling of my apartment. My wife, Annalisa, had insisted that the missing items around the house were just misplaced, but the air in our house had become heavy, with a secret that I could finally savor. Every nerve in my body told me I wasn't alone. As I heard the whispers from inside the wall, I realized that the life I had built was already a ghost. It started with small shifts. A new expensive perfume, something floral and sharp. Nothing like the one she had worn for years. Then came the late nights at the office. Her phone buzzing incessantly on the nightstand. "It's just a big project, baby," she would say, her voice very high. We were renting a luxury place we could barely afford. Somehow Alice had convinced our landlord, a polished, silver-haired guy named her Pat, to give us a huge discount. He just liked my professional pitch, she would brag. But I noticed the way he looked at me during the inspections. It wasn't professional. It was possessive. Discovery had its own brand of hell. I found a receipt for a high-end steakhouse. In her coat pocket, dinner for two on a night. She said she was working late. Then the credit card statement showed a charge for a suite at the Beverly Hills Hotel, while she was at a conference in Vegas. When I confronted her, she turned it on me. "You're crazy," she said. "Maybe if you were more ambitious, you wouldn't have had time to invent these fantasies." She and Apetino felt untouchable, until I saw his charcoal-marked Porsche slowing down the street late at night. They thought they were invisible, trapped in their shared lie. The walls came down on Tuesday. I came home early to surprise him, only to find a pair of designer dress shoes in the hallway, not mine. Then I heard it, his laugh, that deep, arrogant tone I heard every time I paid the rent. My heart didn't just break. It exploded. I stumbled out, walking until my legs were out in the park, the city skyline blurred by my tears. The faithful husband died that afternoon. The man who returned to that apartment hours later was a strategist. My movement began with a whisper. I hired a private investigator who specialized in the scandals of the city's elite. He delivered the Holy Grail, photos of them leaving the hotel, audio of their calls, time-stamped footage of Pete's car in our building for hours. I even installed a discreet camera in my room. Watching the footage was excruciating. Petit would use his master key, help himself to my bourbon, and laugh at how ignorant I was. Alice just laughed along. The lease was in both names, but that a $5,000 security deposit and was my inheritance. My lawyer, a shark in a tailored suit, loved the evidence. I closed our joint accounts, transferring each to a private account. Lease. We sent a notice of termination directly to Pat's management company, citing unauthorized occupants and illegal use of master keys. The parents were deeply traditional people. I invited them, her boss, and her close friends to a surprise dinner. When everyone was seated, I announced that I had a slideshow of our favorite memories. The room fell silent as the screen switched from wedding photos to clear footage of a peewees entering our bedroom. Alice turned ghostly white. Her father's face turned stone, and her boss looked at her with pure hatred. The final blow was legal. Due to Pete's breach of contract, the entire deposit was returned to me. Alice was fired the next day for violating the ethics clause. Her parents cut her off completely. She screamed and begged me, but I never picked up. Last I heard, she was buried in debt, sprawled between the couches. Sometimes I pass this old building. The lights are on, but now it's just a stranger's house. I left with my dignity, my money, and the silence that started it all.